What's up everyone and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to teach you guys how to have fun playing Zerg while still being able to beat high level players. With the new patch, it is pretty much the biggest complaint that I see all the time. It's not necessarily that Zerg is weak, but that it's incredibly unfun to play. And I think it has a lot to do with initiative. If I try to do, I would say, medium baboon build, so let's say I play kind of normal and then try to play like a baboon afterwards, I feel like you never actually get to do that. The other races, Protoss and Terran, always get to attack you first, and you're always just on the back foot defending. And today I'm going to teach you guys some ways to get the initiative back by doing crazy builds while still being pretty strong overall and being able to beat high-level players. Let's begin. The first game of the day is against a Grandmaster Protoss. Now, a lot of the builds I'm going to do today, if you guys are long-time watchers of the channel, you probably will already have seen maybe all of them. I don't even know exactly what I'm going to do yet myself, so there is that. Now, this map, I kind of wanted to start this video off by doing a proxy hatch, but this map is not going to be that good for it, I think. I'm going to do it anyway. Why the heck not? Here we go. The reason why I thought that is because the ramp, it feels a little closed off because the natural ramp is so narrow. But because this is all on the low ground, I think it's still going to work out. Now, before I truly get started here, I just wanted to give a shout out to my Patreon. I recently restarted the educational content over there, so if you guys want to, learn more, I already uploaded a new builder for every race. You guys can check that out. I added a lot of benefits as well, like coaching and whatnot. So, yeah, would love for you guys to check that out. And the money from there is going to go towards tournaments. I already have an idea for a new tournament circuit that I want to start. So, the more money we get there, the better it's going to be. Now, the proxy hatchery I'm doing here, this is just a fake, by the way. In case you guys are curious what on earth I'm going to do with that proxy hatch, this really is just going to be a fake. If he wants me to take my natural, I will actually just take it because that's more comfortable. He moved to the third base a little faster. Normally, I accompany this build with a very early pool, like legitimately a 13 pool, 14 pool, stuff like that. And then what I do is either I cancel the hatchery to allow my Zerglings in, or I just let it live and I start attacking the gateway on certain maps. On this map, that wouldn't be an option. On other maps, sometimes what you can do is, for example, let's say on another map the gateway is here, right? There's full surface area. You can block the gap with the hatchery, and then you can have 6 Zerglings attacking the gateway pretty much for free. Because if the Zealot would pop out on the outside, the Zealot would die. Here, there's not a lot of surface area. If I put the Zerglings here, he should be able to wall that off pretty easily with 1 gap for the Zealot, so that wouldn't work. Now I'm really just being very annoying, and that's all I'm going to be doing here. Now, No, I'm not gonna do it, okay. For a second, I was thinking about being crazy enough to finish that. If he's not gonna move that probe... Oh, that is a big mistake by him, guys. Ooh, okay, I'm gonna be able to block him for a while longer. I'm actually very surprised here, to be honest. I mean, this is a big advantage of playing weird stuff, because your opponents are gonna get confused and they don't really know how to react. But he should have had the information to know that I was not gonna do... Oh, I actually missed that evolution chamber there. I was not gonna do something too extreme. Like, he knows I didn't have a spawning pool, for example. He's gonna finish that as well. If I can steal a gas here, that would absolutely be magnificent. I might... No, he's gonna take that just in time. Gonna start another hatchery over here. At this point, if you guys are gonna copy something like this, I would recommend that you stop building hatchery at this point, because I mean, now it's basically just becoming a meme. Like, here I'm really just trying to blow his mind, but realistically this drone is really not going to get much done. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to take my third hatchery. I think I can barely escape with this. Oh my goodness, that was very close. Just so he can't block it with the adepts, right? That seems like the best idea here. His second gas was late, so I know he's not going to have a Stargate, so I don't have to worry about making Spore Crawlers. And now I would like to follow this up in some kind of aggressive way. I don't really know which one yet, but I do think I want to make a lair for it. I'm going to go for a lair now. My economy is better, so I'm going to do something that's a little unusual for a Zerg play. And that is that I'm going to skip workers to make a lot of units. Normally you want to kind of do it the other way around, where you make all the drones first and only make units when you really have to. He might finish that. Yeah, exactly. He didn't realize I had that many. Oh, I tried to make a Spore Crawler with that one to save it. That's not gonna work. Here, I realized my economy was better, so I decided to just go for 1,000,000 links. Now he can't take a third base because he doesn't have an oracle, and I'm going to be able to drone up, until however much I want. Now, I kind of want to go for a Nidus here, but maybe not the most committed one. Like, once again, I'm going to be playing very weird here. Let's see, he's probably going to use a force field for that. I hope for him. Okay, he is... Is that a Void Ray? Looks like he's making a Void Ray over there, which is a little bit surprising. I'm going to start a Nidus. Now, I don't want to make this the most committal Nidus ever. I really just want to, get a lot of worker damage done and then have a follow-up timing attack to kill him with. I think that's a good idea. Is that... It does look like a Void Ray to me. Yeah, no, he is indeed going to go for a Void Ray, huh? Okay, so what that means is pretty much just that he's scared. That's, what it entirely comes down to. If he's going to kill that Overlord, I will just keep making drones. Let's see. So the Void Ray's over here. He's trying to defend his base. Looks like he does want to take that third base. That seems clear. I'm going to rally Zerglings into the Nidus. Put down the Nidus barely out of vision range of that assimilator over there. And I feel like we have a very nice setup to do a little bit of damage and macro out of it at the same time. That is exactly what we want. Since he has not attacked the Nidus, I will just keep making Zerglings for a little bit. There we go. Probably put a Nidus down here as well. That's going to be nice. He's now going to move all of his units into the main base. At least he should. He was going to go for Tempest, most likely, I want to guess. There's a fleet beacon there. Could have been, carriers as well. But I really thought it was most likely going to be Tempest the moment I saw it. Let me make sure to kill that pylon. If I fight his units outside of range of the battery, it's always going to be very efficient. I got more links over here. And now behind this... Oh, he's actually going to go for carriers. Okay, interesting. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my 4 gases. I should probably not make too many Zerglings anymore, but just focus on getting as many drones and queens out as possible. Queens are going to be like a very nice little bit of a defensive layer, if you will. So he can't kill me with 1 carrier. 2 carriers are already pretty good against queens. 1 carrier is not quite gonna do the trick. And then I'm just gonna start a Spire when I have the gas for it. And that's gonna be very hard for him to stop, I think. I'm actually gonna make more Zerglings, just to try and keep him at home for a little bit longer. The moment he moves out, the creep from the Nidus is actually blocking the base. That is painful, I can't lie. That hurts a little bit to watch. Let me start the Spire over here. And yeah, I could make more gases, but I actually think I'm pretty cool with this. Once again, I'm just making these links to keep him at home, stop him from taking the base, and put down another Nidus whenever I wish. And the moment he moves across the map, that's when I'm going to start the Spore Crawlers. I don't want to start them too fast. He has 1 probe in here. He's making another carrier. I don't see his army right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and start the Spore Crawlers. It does seem that he's moving across the map. Could also be... No, he's still over there in the main base. Okay, then we are completely chilling. Yeah, this is a very nice way to play overall. Like, not exactly the builder that I'm doing, but just kind of do, fake aggression for the most part. Like, here, he was really way too defensive at every stage of the game, right? Like, first the proxy hatchery forced him to stay at home for a long time, or rather over-defend at home for a long time, made a second gateway, made a battery, wasn't even able to start the Nexus for a long time. Then now he's still staying at home with his carriers, even though realistically he only has 1 good option, and that is to just go across the map and try to kill me. Might even be able to get in here if he's not paying attention. Yeah, that's very annoying for him. I'm gonna start the armor upgrades. The reason why I'm gonna get armor upgrades is because interceptors are... I guess they just... I never know the right term to explain it. It's such a simple explanation, but I can never find the right words for it. A carrier has a lot of different attacks. So if you have armor, every single of those attacks does less damage. So against units like carriers, BCs, even units that have double attacks, such as Phoenixes, for example, armor upgrades are really good. And the other way around counts for them as well. So if you have units like that, then attack upgrades are extra good because you do just way more damage. Like carriers that are ahead in attack versus armor upgrades are just freaking crazy. Now, at this point, because he didn't have money, he can't build anything else besides carriers. So at this point, this should be a very easy game. Yeah, I don't think anything is going to be complicated about this, really. Like, I have more money than him. That is a misplaced hatchery. I always want to fix that because it looks very ugly. And And yeah, even if he made like gateway units, he doesn't have a Twilight Council. He can't afford that, so I can just make Lings. If you want to be extra safe in a situation like this, you should probably build a Roach Warren, because Roach Warren is going to make it very easy. Let me just try to force Prismatic Alignment out of him. There you go. So actually going to go for the Void Rays instead of maxing on carriers, which makes a lot of sense. I'm kind of tempted to go for a Hydra Den here. I think making Mass Corruptors is really just the best choice, but a Hydra Den is very tempting. Just because he's going to go for Void Rays instead. Now, it doesn't have Prismatic Alignment, so we can fight pretty decently here. That battery is already pretty drained. As you can see, the Void Rays, even though they're very scary, it's really just because of the Prismatic Alignment. That's why you want to do what I did earlier. You kind of want to bait them to use it, and then the moment it is on cooldown, you can go in and start killing them pretty easily. I'm not sure if he has another energy recharge for the battery. He might not. Let me just make sure to kill that carrier. Do not want that to live. There you go. And now he really just does not have anything left at all. Let's see, how many gateway units does he have? I think it's like 4 or something. Didn't he have a couple Zealots earlier? I swear he had a couple Zealots. I mean, if he doesn't have those Zealots, then this is going to be even easier than I thought, to be honest. But I really was pretty sure he had a couple Zealots. Now I have 9 Corruptors. Should be enough to deal with his army already. Even if it isn't, he's gonna lose on the ground. Let me just try to focus down this carrier. Kind of want to run away from the Prismatic Alignment, but I also want to stay around so my ground units don't die for free. Here you can see my Zerglings are cleaning up. He only had 1 Prismatic Alignment. Oh no, that is painful. I see that he recalled to that Nexus. Yeah, that hurts. I mean, at this point, we see a Protoss player that is definitely a bit upsetty spaghetti at losing this game. Or maybe even upsetty spaghetti at failing that recall. I don't think he This is a very funny example here. Because you can tell he doesn't realize... Throughout the entire game, it's felt like that. It doesn't seem like he realized that my aggression was never that committed. Because, like, the way he was playing, it seems like he thought he was, like, in a better economic spot than us, just with no units. Even at this point, like, he should have left ages ago, but I don't think he ever realized that my aggression was kind of fake for the most part. Now, this was a very satisfying game to play from start to finish, just because he fell for all of my tricks. If you guys are going to copy a playstyle like this, especially with the proxy hatches, the fake hatchery, with the kind of fake aggression, but still trying to put some aggression on, I would recommend that you kind of adapt it to your own MMR a little bit, because what I notice is that MMRs tend to have just different ways of playing. I don't know if that's still the case, but something I noticed from back in the day whenever I was leveling a new account up is that in Diamond League, they would scout way too much to the detriment of their economy. So sometimes I would do a proxy racks in the middle of the map, like not in this case, but back when there were like 4-player maps, 3-player maps. I'm really talking a very long time ago. And they would send an extra probe to scout the middle of the map. So you kind of want to adjust it to your MMR. If you notice that people don't respond enough to your proxy hatch, go for the 13-pool proxy hatch and just flood links like crazy. If they really react super severely to everything you do, then this is a fantastic way to play. But we are not done. Let's play another one. Okay, game number 2 is against a random player. Well, that is going to make being cheesy a little harder. I do think overall Zerg really does not have any issues with random players, because you can just play hatch first. Or in my case, you can just play proxy hatch against everything. The problem with that is that proxy hatch is not very good against Zerg. Actually, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to go for a 12 pool here. Now, this might surprise you guys, but I actually kind of like 12 pool against every race, including against Terran, okay? In fact, I prefer 12 pooling Terran over Protoss, I would say. I know against Protoss is way more common. It's also a bit more classic, right? Happened a lot back in the day with 6 pools and whatnot. But against Terran, I kind of like it because it's so uncommon that a lot of them just don't know how to deal with it. What happens a lot of time when I do this against Terran is that, first of all, I get an economic lead. Second of all, I can tell that my opponent's mind is absolutely blown to pieces, which, helps in beating them in a game of Starcraft. I don't think I canceled my egg a little bit too late, because I think I'm barely not going to have 3 larvae in time for the links. Could be wrong about that. The most annoying thing here is if that I would play against a Zerg right now. Oh, no, it's actually fine. If I was playing against a Zerg, I would prefer to have made a gas already, because I like to link flood as a follow-up to 12 pool. Doesn't seem like we're playing against Zerg. I feel like I should have seen the Overlord already, though judging by the path, we most likely would have missed each other, actually. If my opponent's Terran, I want to see his SCV. That is the only thing that you really have to pay attention to here. That's the biggest tip I can give you guys. That's the reason why it's good against Terran as well, is because your Overlord can just see the SCV moving out, and then you can just sidestep the SCV, and then the command center should be building over there. Oh god, that's painful. Yeah, he's proxy raxing. Okay, yeah, I mean, here you go, guys. You know, I'm just gonna let this game into the video. It's not particularly instructive, of course, but there you go. 12 pulling against random, fantastic idea. Honestly, if you get cheesed a lot by random players, this could actually be a fantastic idea. I mean, this guy was obviously entirely dead because my 6 Zerglings were going to kill his base. I mean, or he would have had to repair his depots forever and I would have been able to make links at home. Yeah, funny game for in between, I guess. Game number 3 is against another Protoss. This guy's name I remember. I think we kind of rushed him in the last video, didn't we? Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did. I think he was the... Yeah, he was the first game. We played against 1 Protoss before playing against 2 Zergs. And we're playing on a pretty similar map. Actually, I'm going to show you guys the... Actually, no, that's too early. Sorry for that. Let me restart. I'm going to show you guys the same proxy hatchery build, but with the early pool. Now, on this map, I wouldn't recommend it just because it's big. If you're going to do something like super aggressive, you're probably going to want to do it on a bit of a smaller map. Yeah, besides that, I don't think there's any attribute you should be looking for in particular. When I do proxy hatches, I really prefer playing on maps without either natural ramps or where they're far away. If you play on those maps where the natural ramp is super close to the nexus, so let's say the ramp would be here, then it's just really hard to find a place to put the hatchery down. Yeah, I think that's the only thing, actually. You just want a little space in the natural. That's what it comes down to. Long story. Could have told it a lot shorter. You just want there to be space to put your hatchery down. So even though there's a ramp over here, as you can see, there's enough space for the hatchery. So this was a 13 pool. I did 1 extractor trick. That's the way I remember the build. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to put the hatchery right here. And then we're just going to flood links. Most likely the opponent's going to pull workers to kill them. Now you can see what I was explaining in the first game already. So if he does not pull workers to kill this, we can just kill this gateway over here. Now, very likely he is going to pull workers. That is what most people do. I also think it's the correct response, by the way. Doesn't look like he's going to do it for now, which means that we are going to kill that gateway. Are we going to kill it in time for the Adept to not finish? That I don't know. Now, what I like to do with this build, this is going to surprise you guys, is... most likely what the Zergs would do is they would cancel, like they would wall this off, the Protoss player, then the Zergs would cancel the hatchery and just get to run into the natural pretty much, right? But here what I like to do is kind of pretend that I'm transitioning behind this, and then just flood links like an absolute baboon from 3 slow, or from 3 hatcheries, just make slow links like crazy. Now you can tell that the gateway is indeed getting very close to dying. I can even surround it since he's so focused on killing the hatchery. Here you go. So that gateway is going to die pretty fast. I'm able to distract these zealots as well. Now he's trying to get a good position here against my Zerglings, but I think I just have too many Zerglings for this. His position was decent, but his entire natural is already cooked. I have to admit, very unusual and weird response from my Protoss opponent here. I'm just going to kill this pylon real quick, because I might as well. I can't believe he's researching Warp Gate on that. Isn't that insane? I legit think that's pretty insane. One tip I can give you guys, by the way, is if they block your hatchery, just build it a little further ahead, because you might as well. Now, this battery is going to run out of energy at some point. I'm not quite sure if I actually want to be fighting this or just kill the cybernetics core first. I think based on his level of defense over here, I think I want to get a little bit of a transition going. I probably could have transitioned earlier, to be honest with you guys, but it just seemed like I was going to be able to kill him instantly. But then I guess he went for the batteries and for extra gateways instead of tech. That Stalker is very close to dying, by the way. Zerglings are pretty fast. I guess I'm going to send my queen up here. He did actually recharge that. That is well done by him. I think I'm just going to fight here, because why not? It's going to be quite annoying for him to have to pull all those probes, lose all the mining time. As you can tell, the Stalker is indeed going to die because he ran out of energy on that battery. And if I can move this queen back, that would be fantastic. If I was him, I would have actually surrounded the queen with the workers and try to kill it. I think that would have been a pretty nice way to go about it. But as we stand, he probably has more workers than me, but I have 2 hatcheries, including one on my natural. I got my queens. I have creep on his natural, which is extremely annoying to clear. Speaking from experience, not necessarily from the other side, but I have blocked people's naturals with creep many times, which you guys probably will know. I'm just going to spread more creep over here. This is the most uThermal special thing I can do, where I only spread creep from my opponent's natural. I don't know why I like doing it so much, but for some reason, when I spread creep from my own base, it's a chore. But when I spread it in my opponent's natural, then it's fun. that's the only way I can explain it. That's actually the way it works in my head. Just so much more fun if you're blocking someone's base doing it. I could save transfuses as well, by the way, at this point. I'm gonna try to keep spreading creep around his natural, making another queen. Wouldn't be that crazy for me to start like 2 spines here or something. Kind of like that idea. Okay, so there's an oracle over here. Obviously, I'm ready to not take any damage from that. Kind of surprised he's activating it just to hit the queen there. I guess it doesn't really cost him that much in the end. He has 2 adepts. Robo facility going down. Okay. Yeah, I feel like my game plan here is going to be relatively simple, to be honest. I think what I'm going to do is just make mass Zerglings. Because the Robo is not going to be that great against it. I'm just going to try to attack this. I do have transfuses ready here. But this is not necessarily a nice fight for him to take. As you can see, transfuses are quite good. Let me transfuse that queen before it dies. There we go. I'm just going to make another queen over here, because why not? I'm going to make 1 drone, so I can make a spore crawler. I think he shaded back into his main, right? I didn't see that wrong. If he shaded across the map, then we might be in trouble, because I didn't make units. I guess I'll just make units now. Here you go. I'm going to make a spore crawler here as well. And then this setup is going to be completely safe. I'm going to make an evolution chamber, so I can get +1 attack for my Zerglings. I don't know if that's going to finish in time, but I kind of think it will. Those are trying to escape. I have scouted the map for hidden expansions. It's always really good to do, by the way. Just make sure to check the map for hidden expansions when you're containing your opponent on one base. He has a... Okay, so he went for a prism instead. This could be an interesting hold, actually. It's not going to be that easy, I think. I'm just going to start attacking this, because why not? He's making more batteries over here. Wait, actually, I can walk up my spines. I didn't really think about this before, because he's clearly... he had more units than me. But if he's gonna be here... Oh, look at this. Oh, this is so beautiful. He was so busy at home that he kind of walked into all of my Zerglings. All of those are dead already. Spore crawler from downtown. And wow. Okay, that was 10 times better and easier and more convincing and cooler than I expected. I didn't even think about the possibility that I would ever walk into his main base with my spines and my spore, because he was just going to have enough units to kill it, and I thought there was going to be an immortal. Then I saw the prism, I saw the adept shade out, so I could walk in here. This is a really good position, by the way, especially because I was going to have 3 transfuses by the time the immortal finished, and he was not going to have battery energy left by the time the immortal did finish. Then he just shaded in here thinking I was not going to have units, but my Zerglings were actually in the literal perfect position. He was even on a move command for a second or 2 there, and this was just absolutely disgusting. Absolutely got annihilated there. Both versions of the proxy hatch worked. Let's go play another game. All right, game number 4 is going to be a ZVZ. Now, ZVZ is already kind of a chaotic matchup. I'm not entirely sure what the usual idea is around ZVZ, like whether, you know, most Zergs like it or not. I actually don't know. Personally, I think it's a little boring because mass roaches just seems to beat not mass roaches, you know? So you just kind of end up headbutting mass roaches against each other for a while, which I don't find super entertaining. So I'm gonna do something a little insane. This is a build that it needs a MMR warning if you're gonna use it. This is really not the best build order ever. This is not gonna get you the most wins ever, but it is a lot of fun, and that's what I'm all about. What I'm gonna do here, guys, is I'm gonna go for the legendary Spinecrawler Rush. Now, to be fair, even though this build is really not the best build ever, I haven't been lying. At least I'll lose 10 MMR instead of 40. I think he might be winning 40 here, actually, if he plays his cards right. But I did beat Vanya with this build once, who is a very strong Zerg player. I think at the time he was 6.5k MMR or so. So it's possible. You can definitely beat some big guns with this. But yeah, once again, just, you know, be careful, have fun with it. If you really want to win MMR and play cheesy, you might have to find another cheese, and that's really about it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna saturate my main base entirely, which I think I only need 16 drones for, because I only want... Actually, no, I need more drones. Ooh, I did forget about that for a second. Yeah, I need to send 2 drones to make the spines. For some reason in my head, I was going to make the drones here, but you actually have to send 2 drones from your main. This guy is currently trauma dumping on us, which I didn't ask for, but that helps him make his day a little better, then so be it, you know. I'll be here to listen to him while I brutally spinecrawler rush someone who's clearly on a tilt streak. Now, if he's going for like a cheese himself, we could actually be in a little bit of trouble. Okay, so I got 100 gas, that's all I need. Then I'm gonna start the spinecrawlers first, because they're gonna be slow. Now, the reason why this build works, by the way, you guys probably already figured it out naturally. It's really not rocket science. But it's because my opponent also has creep. Normally, you need to spread creep with your queen. Here, he's already building creep for me. So that definitely helps. Now, I made all the Zerglings at home so far. Now I'm going to start a couple over here. At this point, he sees that I have no natural. He's going to check for a proxy hatchery, which is... I mean, it's not stupid, it's just kind of... Why would someone proxy a hatchery against a Zerg? You know? Like, I would just be worrying that this is going to be like a massive bailing audit or something like this. But instead, he scouted for some proxies. Now, I have all these links to accompany mine. He is... I don't know how he's going to defend it yet. I guess we'll find that out soon. Kind of surprised his queens are so far out on the low ground, by the way. Spine number 1 is burrowing. Like I mentioned, we have more than enough Zerglings to accompany these. And he is going to lose his base. Okay, I'm going to do something. Oh, he is going to try to defend it over here. That is kind of insane. He's going to lose this spinecrawler so fast. He didn't transfuse it either. I have Zergling speed as well. Now, he's going to try to pull drones to the low ground. Okay, I'm not going to lie. I kind of thought that his defense on the low ground was already over here. But he's still going to try. And that's just going to be a little bit too late, especially with the first spinecrawler dying so fast. Now he's trying with another spinecrawler. I'm going to try to attack this queen so he can't use all of that transfuse energy. And I think we have made our opponent's day even a little bit worse. Like you said, at least he's only gonna lose... okay. At least he's only gonna lose 10 MMR instead of 40. I'm sorry, my friend, but it had to be done. I had to teach people how you can have fun in ZVZ. And this is one way to do it. Now, what I noticed myself is that there seemed to be a little bit of a barrier around like the lower 5k MMR level. So this build would work every time below 5k, not necessarily because of speed, but it seemed like the Zergs there just didn't really know how to deal with this. Like, you get a lot of this stuff where they try to desperately defend the low ground and fail. When I got to like higher levels, the Zergs were way more patient, and that's kind of the way you deal with this. Like, even if we go back a little bit just now, let's see, before he lost any drones, you can see that he has 19 against 16 drones, and that's after he made a couple spine crawlers. He has 175 gas. He easily could have just made like 6 banelings or something. He had enough gas for it, and then try to break it later, has more drones, and then I need to somehow defend this base. Like, it sounds like I have 2 hatcheries, or it looks like it, but my base is basically next to his base with no defenses, you know, no spines, no drones that can make them. I guess I can make them there and then reactively make them, but that's gonna cost me a lot of money. So there's a lot of ways to defend this, but when they panic, it can look brutally strong and be a lot of fun. Now, this game was also very short, so let's just play another one. Okay, game number 5 is against another Protoss player. Now, I think we've had enough of the proxy hatches. Well, I'll never get enough of them, but for this video, I think we've had enough. I think it might be time for me to go for the link drop, the build I like so much. Also have a detailed guide on the link drop on the Patreon, by the way. Just saying. If you're a big fan of the link drop, go check that out. But yeah, that's pretty much my strongest ZVP build ever. I've talked about it many times before. I've done it many times. But if for some reason you've missed it, then it's just like a crazy build. At some point I was inspired. I think I saw another Zerg do it in a tournament, or at least something that looked like it. I kind of tried to fine-tune it, get some different follow-ups. And it really has survived the test of time. I've beat many pro players with this, including pro Protoss players that are so far beyond my Zerg level that I should have had no, you know, what do you call it? No chance. No, what's the word I'm looking for? I should have had no way to beat them. There's a word. You guys probably know what I mean already anyway. But I remember beating Showtime with that build. In fact, the opening didn't even do that much damage, but it still worked. That's how good the build is. And that was yeah, probably the crowning moment of my Zerg career. I also did beat Beyond that one time in an insane game. That was very funny. Now, I did notice that Beyond, even though he's an absolutely amazing Terran player, he seems to have a weakness to players off races. I don't know why, because he's like so consistently good in tournaments, but I do see him lose to people's off races. So maybe he's just not that good against weird stuff or something. Should pull out my inner cheese maniac more often when I play against him. But anyway, back to the task at hand here. Link drop is a pretty simple build, actually. You go for a 17-17. The reason why this build is good is, first of all, it's just very different, so Protoss players don't know how to respond to it. Besides that, it gives you all the initiative you want, and the best part of it, I think you guys are gonna like that for this video, is that it's not... Oh, I need to overlord first, actually. It's not necessarily... So stupid. I just cancelled speed to build it again. Yeah, it doesn't really matter, honestly, but still, that was kind of dumb. You know, it doesn't necessarily turn into one of those hyper one-base games where you finish the game in, you know, just like 3 minutes or something. Like, very often, you're just going to get in a comfortable spot for a macro game where you have the initiative. That's pretty much the build you guys were looking for, I think, right? Because it's just an absolutely awesome build. Now, here, we're in a bit of a weird situation because my opponent did not scout. And I wouldn't say rely, but I do really like my mind games. So then you have to wonder, how can you mind game someone who doesn't see? That is a little bit of a difficult question to answer there. Sounds quite philosophical, actually, if you think about it. But okay, I got my 2 overlords going into position here. Then I'm gonna make links until, I think, 34 supply, because I have 2 links out on the map already. These links going into the main base is gonna be quite annoying for him. Gonna be able to see the Stargate, see what unit he's gonna build from the Stargate, maybe even kill a probe. Yo, killing a probe in the gas is very annoying. Oh, he actually... That's annoying. He went past my freaking... what's it called? Past my links. I had my links in position, but he went past them. That's a bit messed up. Okay, the lair should be finishing right now. I think since I lost 2 links there, I am missing 2 Zerglings for this, which... Yeah, it's really not the biggest deal ever, but I kind of wish I did have them, of course. Now, my opponent, he seems to be blissfully unaware of what we're doing, so I wouldn't even be surprised if he's going to counterattack with the Oracle. I'm still not making a Spore, because counterattacking with the Oracle shouldn't be a good strategy. Now, you want to drone up till 41 while you do this. I think there's a decent chance we're going to have some kind of weird base raid here. I guess we'll see. Now, all the links are in the main. We're going to get a couple pros before he runs them away to the natural, that's for sure. This, by the way, is already enough damage. The build has already worked. I know it sounds a little crazy, but this build has actually already worked up until this moment, and we're going to find ourselves ahead. You really don't need a lot with this build at all. It's just that good. What can I say? It's really just that good. Now, he has the Oracle. He did deactivate the Oracle beam, but I'm still going to try and save the Zerglings. That's one thing you have to keep in mind these days if you do this build. Energy recharge exists. So, oh, this guy's actually a little cheesy here. 3 gates. I think we definitely scared him. We definitely got him very scared. Okay, so I got up to 41 drones. Now I'm going to be able to start my Hydra production. Now, there is only one thing, quite literally one thing that I'm afraid of right now. And that is the possibility of glaive at depths. So I'm going to make an overseer to just see if I can find out if it is glaive at depths. If it's glaive at depths, we're going to switch our strategy. The normal strategy is just you make a bunch of Hydras and you attack the front. Once again, not rocket science. If they go glaive at depths, let's see if I can... He is actually making a bunch of adepts. Huh, that's quite annoying here. I would guess that it's still not glaives, but I don't think I want to take that risk. Okay, he sees the Hydras now. If he didn't make glaives before, he's definitely going to make that in response. So normally you attack at the front. If it's going to be glaives, you kind of want to just drop the Hydras and go for roach speed instead kind of thing. Yeah, okay, that is a lot of freaking adepts. This guy picked a crazy strategy, but it's going to be quite good against ours. Now, let's see. I need to know when his adepts are going to leave his base. That's the biggest thing here. Let's bring this Dropper Lord back that somehow survived all the way over there. And then what I'm going to do is... oh, looks like he already went out. I'm going to start making roaches now. Roaches are really good against glaive adepts because they're just going to be able to tank the adept. Like, you can even put them in front of the Hydras, and then the Hydras are going to be able to do their damage. This doesn't have glaives yet. I'm going to be able to cancel this pretty fast. There you go. That is nice. Then I'm going to split my Hydras into these Overlords. As you can see, my Overlord speed just finished. And then I'm going to try to hit... I need just enough anti-air that I can kill the minimum amount of air units he's going to have. So even though I'm going to attack with roaches, I need a couple Hydras just so I can kill, like, the... What is it? Probably the one Oracle and the one Void Ray he has, if I had to guess. Oh, he might see this Overlord with his shade. That would be quite annoying, but it is what it is. That gets denied for a little bit. I think now we probably want to be moving across the map already. He's still at home, actually, with pretty much everything. That is quite surprising, I have to say. I really thought we were going to fight the... Oh, no, he does have glaives now. You guys saw it? Yeah, okay, so I made the right decision here. That's really good to know. I saw the glaive attack on those adepts, and yeah, this is just the perfect strategy against this. Adepts are obviously not that good at defending drops because they don't shoot up, and these Hydras are just going to go absolutely ham. This Hydra drop is going ham. He's counterattacking with a lot of stuff. I should be able to kill everything he has pretty much, but it's not always that easy. Let's see. Okay, so he has a lot of units over here. Need to make sure that I get my roaches to fight. It is a bit of an annoying situation, mostly just because I'm gonna lose pretty much all of my workers, I think, and he still has the one Void Ray that's doing a crazy amount of damage, pretty much. And that's what I'm a bit annoyed by. Okay, I'm gonna drop this one over here. I'm gonna be able to snipe those adepts, which is very nice. It's pretty much the last bit of army that he had. I'm not sure if his adepts are still alive or what happened to them, but I know that he does not have economy right now. Might as well take that one down. He does have a couple of units. Gonna move across with the rest of my stuff. And now I'm just gonna have to micro these very well. I have a lot of workers alive somehow. I don't really know how I managed to do that. Like, I basically have 2 fully saturated bases, which is kind of crazy. Let's see, if he's not gonna mine, then we don't really have to worry about... okay, wait, let me... Oh, wait, I think I can snipe it if I micro this very well. Let's see. Okay, it doesn't seem like I will need to. Gonna be able to deny this base now. Our economy... Oh, I have a queen alive over here. That's great. Our economy does seem better than... Oh, the Void Ray. I really want that Void Ray more than the Oracle even. Please kill that. Yeah, there you go. Okay, that is perfect. It's just the Void Ray does so much damage to the roaches. The Oracle also does a lot of damage, but it's energy-based, and he's probably busy chrono boosting his probes or whatever. So the Void Ray is going to be a way nicer pick-off. I saw an air unit over there. I have no idea what that was. Okay, what I'm going to do here is actually drop into the main base. It's probably a good idea for me... Oh, need to be careful over here. It's a good idea for me to make Ravagers. Really good dodge there, by the way. That could have been so much worse. Now I got my roaches back in the main base, and GG has to be called, and there you go. All right, well, that got pretty scary. I mean, like I mentioned, Glaive Adepts was really the only thing I was scared of. I think I handled it very well, but it could have gone wrong for sure. And this is the type of game that's never that easy to play, right? Like, if you look at the supplies over here, my opponent went for 20 Adepts while not really making probes, which is incredibly uncommon. But in this case, it was probably the best strategy for him, but we still managed to do it. The Hydro drops, once again, it's just a very cool way to play, you know? Like, normally you always feel like you're scared and you're chilling in your corner waiting for your time to move out when you're maxed or whatever. I have none of that. I just decided to go for Hydro drops instead, because why the heck not? One thing I also could have done is potentially go for the Spire. I would have probably gone for the Spire if I saw the gateways a bit earlier. Like, I kind of saw it after I was already committed into the Hydra, so then you don't really still want to go for the Spire. If, let's say, I had a couple more Zerglings alive, I saw the gateways at the front, in particular the third one, maybe I would have gone for the Spire instead, or straight away for the Roaches, who knows. But that's it for today. 5 games with Zerg where I play like a baboon. I won all of them, I believe, against Grandmaster level players. And that is, yeah, a fantastically fun way to play Zerg. Hopefully this helped. Hopefully this encouraged you to play Zerg and have some more fun on the ladder. I know if you really want to be the best player in the world, you probably do have to play that reactive style where you're just allow your opponents to try and torture you for 15 minutes. But even if you're trying to be a solid Grandmaster, you can really play like a baboon. So that's it for today. Hope you guys had a fantastic time. Make sure to leave your questions in the comments. If you did enjoy this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all for the next one. Adios.